welcome in the chat. Okay, we could do that. Everybody drop welcome in the chat for all our new students on the call. I know there's plenty of you guys on here right now because this is probably like the main call that brings new people to it. Congratulations. And I want to say like, yo, you made the right decision to go ahead and invest in yourself to start learning, how to multiply your money, right? It doesn't matter, if it makes sense this week. It doesn't matter if it starts making sense 3 months from now. The goal is that the really important part is that you actually started that journey. That some people literally die before they ever start that actual journey, right? They go their whole life never figuring out how to make money, from their money. So you're in the right place at the right time, and definitely with the right people. So first and foremost, I'm actually going to go ahead and log onto this call and share my screen with you guys and walk you guys through. Why does it say? There we go. And walk you guys through, how to actually set up your MetaTrader 4, so that you can start making some money. And I'm gonna give you guys some little tricks and hacks to make this super simple and easy for you guys. Give me 1 second. Got it. Wi-Fi. We'll cut that off. Let's see. Make myself host. All right, give me 1 second. Drop some sevens in the chat if you guys can see my screen. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I don't think it's actually sharing. How do I switch this? Yeah, it's not sharing. Give me 1 second. Screen. We don't need microphone. Start broadcast. All right. You guys can see my screen now, right? Drop some sevens in the chat to make sure we can see it. It might be a little lagged or delayed, but let me know if you guys can see my screen. Okay, bet. I just need to get one more thing. Right? All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get this right. So I'm actually set up a separate demo account. So for everybody on this call, I want you guys to know that, you can actually practice on your phone, right? You have a live account, but you can actually create yourself a demo account to be able to practice your trades and, get experience trading different types of currencies or commodities, or maybe it's crypto. You want to actually make sure your first trades on anything is typically on demo, so you can get the experience of like what it's like to actually trade it, right? Because not everything actually moves the same. So you can actually go to accounts, right, in your MetaTrader 4. So you can go here. Let's mute that. There we go. All right. And you can actually go to open demo account. Right now, the broker that I use, and you guys can use probably anyone, but the main, couple of brokers that you can use is probably KOT. I use Prosperity, and then some people will be using Hugo's Way, and you'll definitely need Hugo's Way if you plan on moving forward with BCX in the future, because the new product AltFi, it will be heavily reliant upon you having Hugo's Way to take some of the different cryptocurrency trades that Mike Sotero and Curtis Cobain will actually be sharing. So those are just some brokers for you guys: Hugo's Way, Prosperity, and KOT. And there's many more, right? But we're going to go ahead and just type in Prosperity, right? And this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have Prosperity demo account. Now, all you need to do is put a name, a phone number, an email address. They're not going to ever send you actually anything. It's not going to be a subscription. It just needs the information to create the account. The leverage should be 1 to 500. The account type is only one account type. And then the deposit, honestly, you can put what you want, but I say put the closest amount that's closest to your initial deposit. You may be on this call and you about to deposit $10,000. So if you know you're going to deposit $10,000 into your trading account, then you could use a $10,000, demo account. But let's say your amount is less than 3,000, then I would say go ahead and use the $3,000 account, because you want to use the one that's closest to your your experience that you're going to actually be having, right? So you click register. You do not have to save this login and investor information. In fact, you can create an unlimited amount of demo accounts, so it does not matter. Literally, these are just kill accounts. You can do whatever you want on them, so you can get as many experiences as possible. So you click done. Once you create the account, what it's going to do is it's going to give you this screen with just some preset some preset Forex pairs. I'll trade so much crypto, I don't even see Forex no more, but it's going to give you some preset Forex pairs. Okay, so a Forex pair, right? Pair meaning two, is just two foreign exchange currencies versus one another. Okay, that's what Forex stands for. That's what a Forex pair is. So this first pair here, right? Odd US dollar, right, is the Aussie, right, the Australian dollar versus our dollar, right, the US dollar. Okay. If you guys can let people in from the waiting room for me, I appreciate that. But the next thing that you want to know is that you can actually add multiple different pairs, right? These aren't just the only pairs that are on here, right? So if you want to add pairs, you can actually click this plus sign, and these are all the different options that you can actually trade in the foreign exchange markets, right? People think that Forex is just foreign exchange, but really Forex is a lot bigger than that, right? You can trade crypto. You can trade exotic, currencies that people have never even heard of. You can trade metals like gold and silver and platinum. You can trade energies, right? Like oil, natural gas, etc. You can trade the indexes, right? These are different indexes across the world. Germany's index, Japan's index, France's, the United States, they have multiple, the S&P, the NASDAQ, that's US Tech 100, right? The top 100 tech companies, right? And US 30, right? The Dow Jones, right? All of these different options that you have, and depending on what your membership is based on, depending on the educator that you follow, right? Those are going to be the type of things that you want to add to your page. So let's just say you're DCX, like a lot of my team is DCX. We're going to add crypto, but we don't trade everything. Oh my God, they added Avalanche and Cardano. Oh, it's about to get crazy. They're not playing. All right, so that's cool, right? So man, Cardano's going to be a good trade, but you can actually do, oh, they added back too. Yo, I'm a geek. So this is actually dope. I'm just thinking about all the money that could be made. But back on focus, right? You got Binance Coin, Bitcoin, right? So you definitely want to add Bitcoin, all right? BTC USD, a main pair, Ethereum, right? You just click the plus sign and you add it. XRP, right? Boom, you click the plus sign, you add it. Now what happens is that when you add it, it's at the bottom. But let's say you want to organize this in, let's say you could organize it in alphabetical order. You could organize it to make sure that, your cryptos are in one spot, the Forex pairs are in one spot, or, you can organize it based on what you want to trade. So you can actually click this pencil, and there's two things you can now do. I can hold down on the right-hand side and I can drag it right up to the top. So I can focus on what I want to really focus on. If I know that I'm really just trading swipe coin for the most part, then maybe I want, Bitcoin and Ethereum at the top so that I can easily, get to them, right? Or maybe I want to delete something. Maybe I took one good look at New Zealand US dollar and said, I don't want to trade that. Or odd CHF and odd CAD. I can actually delete those, right? So this page is completely customizable. You can put anything in any order, and you can delete whatever you don't want to focus on. If this page looks too much, you can click simple, right? And now it's compact and it doesn't look like a bunch of numbers, right? I know somebody probably almost had a panic attack looking at the advanced screen. I used to look at it and be a little intimidated too, right? Now I love it now because I know what it's for. But this was perfect for me when I first started, right? So if you want to make it look simple, then click simple, organize it, alphabetize it. If you're that type of person, and get it set up for yourself. Now let's actually go through everything at the bottom of the screen. So you at the bottom in the blue, we have quotes. Your quotes page is all your different currencies. All right. The next page is you have charts, right? So let me find an empty chart. Any of these would be empty. All right, this should be pretty empty, right? So the next page is charts. I'm gonna break down this chart page for you guys because I know a lot of people don't break down what each thing does and what each part of it is for. So this is where you view the actual market, right? In the top left, you have your time frames. Okay, you have your time frame. So I'm gonna move slow on this because I want you guys to understand what this means. Okay, so a time frame for Forex, this determines how long your candles are actually for, right? So every single one of these moves up and down, they're called candlesticks, right? They're candlesticks. Most of us are familiar with this, right? When we were in school, we saw this. We saw line charts, right? When we saw graphs, we see lines, right? This is what most of us are familiar with. But for Forex, because we use strategies to determine where the market's going, we use candles, right? A candle, it basically just shows you where the market opened, where it closed, and where it went to, right? Those are the wicks, because real candles in real life have wicks, right? So if I go to the D, right, D1 stands for daily. W1 stands for weekly. MN stands for monthly, right? And everything else is hourlies or minutes. So H4, 4 hours. H1, 1 hour. M's are all the minute duration. So that means that's how long each candle's lifespan is. So when you look at this candle right here that we're currently on, this is today's candle and it's still alive, right? It's still alive, meaning the day has not even ended yet, right? It's still alive. But this candle here for USD-CHF, that was Friday's candle, right? This black candle going to the downside, that was Friday's candle. That candle is now over. It started a whole new day. The candle before that, this candle here, this was Thursday's candle, right? Because in Forex, the markets close for Saturday and half of Sunday, okay? The market's closed. But on crypto, it's open nonstop and it never closes, right? So these are things that you guys have to remember. So if I click from the daily and I go to H4, all it did was just make the candle's duration a little bit less. So instead of each candle being 24 hours of time, now all of these candles are 4 hours of time of, you know, the price actually moving. So let's look at this last up candle, right? This gray candle that went up, basically this candle started here, right? At the body of it, right? The body, right? At some point it went down because we have this wick. So it's showing me where the price of the candle actually traveled. At the top is where it closed, and that's where it ended at the end of 4 hours. All right. So that's what these candles are. They're just a way of viewing price over a certain period of time. Can you guys drop yes in the chat if this is making sense? And if it is not, please do not hold it in. You could message me personally if you don't want to feel any type of way and say, hey, you know, can you explain that again? I have no problem. I got time today. Right? I got time today. So, okay, so most people got it. If you don't, please just send me a personal message, right? And I'll re-explain. So that's the time frames. What's the purpose behind it, right? The purpose of time frames is to be able to get another perspective. The thing is that, you know, like you can't, it's like having a microscope, right? If you want to predict something that's going to happen, you kind of need to see it. And if you're on a certain time frame, you can't see certain things. But the closer you zoom in, you might be able to see a detail that is telling you where the market may be going in the future, right? So that's what that's for. This little crosshair, right? The plus sign is called a crosshair. The crosshair shows you two things. On the bottom, if you look at the line that goes all the way down, it shows you dates. right? At the bottom is showing you the date. Okay, so here, this date is December 6th, and it shows you the time, right? It says 1600. Okay, so that's 4, but I believe that's 4 for like GMT, right? On the right hand side, it shows you price. So I can use this to say, okay, hey, I think, let's look to the left, right? Hey, I think that, you know, USD CHF is going to get back to this high at 0.9357, right? And I can use this crosshair to look at different dates and look at different prices, right? Let's drop a yes if you guys are following along. The F, a lot of you, when you first open up your MT4, if you clicked F, there's actually some things in these sub windows, right? There's some things in these sub windows, right? You may have had something right here. This is called your indicator window, and you can actually delete or add anything on here. So I'm deleting this thing that I just added. I have a moving average. I can delete that if I want, right? So that's the little blue line that y'all see on my chart, the little blue thing swiggling around. That's a moving average, right? That's a type of indicator. Based on the strategies that you learn, right, there will be certain indicators that may or may not be told for you to use by your educator, right? Some of them use moving averages. Some of them use, you know, the RSI or the MACD. You know, some of them may use fractals. It's all types of different things. It all depends on the strategy that you are using. So, you know, stay tuned so you can know what to do with this button in the middle. Okay. And on the right hand side, this is actually one of my favorite tools, because this is actually your toolbox. Okay. This is actually your toolbox. Some of the tools that are in here are, number one, your line, right? Your line, so you can mark off certain prices for the future. Another tool in your toolbox is your box, right? This is actually my favorite tool because I'm gonna break down what you can use this for, but you can create zones, right, with this rectangle tool. So maybe you don't want to put too much focus on a line, but you feel as though the price may, you know, get to a reject from a certain zone. There we go, right? You may feel that price is going to get to or reject from a certain zone. The rectangle tool puts you in position to kind of see, and it'll always stay there, right? Even after you leave the chart, right? I can go to another pair. So I'm in GU, I can go back to USD CHF, and guess what? My zones will always be there. So I can kind of draw out, you know, what I expect to happen, right? Which leads me to my next tool, right? Which is the arrow tool. I like the arrow tool because, you know, it could just show me like, you know, what maybe I didn't look at the chart since this morning. I can kind of draw out, you know, things that I expect to kind of happen on here. Really, a lot of your analysis should happen on a website called TradingView. But you know, this MT4 training, so I'm showing you guys what you can do with MT4, right? Other tools in here, right? Trend line. This is super powerful, okay? This is super powerful. So your trend line tool, this tool, you can kind of use the arrow tool as well, but this is what it's meant to be used for. So your trend line tool helps you decide what's the trend, right? Is the trend bullish or is it bearish? So it allows you to connect lows and highs, right? Connect lows and highs. So right now we have all these different little lows that I just connected, right? And now, because I connect these different lows, I can tell that the lows are actually getting higher and higher, so that, you know, I may expect that if the market, you know, got to this trend line, right, it could choose to reject, or it could, you know, break it, right? And then I can use it that if they decide to push back, but they can't break back up, right, that can actually become a sell, right? So I can use it on both sides, right? Somebody drop, you know, I understand in the chat, right? Just say I understand, right? I know I'm moving a little bit fast on this part, but just say I understand, right? So I use these tools. They help with being able to make decisions, right? When you're trading, you have to make decisions, and it's only 2 decisions to make, really kind of 3, right? It's buy, sell, or do nothing, right? It's buy, sell, or, you know, do nothing and wait, right? That's what these tools help you do. If the market isn't responding to, these different levels that you place or these different tools that you put down, then you do nothing, right? So that's what we use these for, and that's all in your MT4, right? And I feel like almost nobody ever kind of breaks this down, but we doing it today, right? So what else do we have in here, right? We have some other tools that you can use, but I actually don't think that we need to really go over them like that. These are kind of like, those are kind of like the main ones. There is another tool called the Fibonacci, but this is not a call for now, but you will learn it more than likely working with a lot of our educators, right? If you follow Curtis Cobain, he uses a lot of Fibonacci. So you guys can write that down in your notes. It took me maybe over 6 months of trading before I even believed that a Fibonacci could work, let alone even knowing what it was. So you guys are hearing about it right here from the beginning from me, because it definitely helped crazy in my trading. So you guys can write that down. That's something that you want to learn and find videos on. If you could find a video under Curtis Cobain, under Miss Crypto Picasso, under, can you show how to take a trade from a signal or a product? Yes, I can. Give me 1 second. Let me log in from the computer. 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right. About to reshare my screen. All right, cool. Who is this new person sending out signals? Who's the new person sending out signals though? Let me reshare my screen though. Who is this new? We got new people sending out signals. Start broadcast. So I don't know, man. I'm just playing. If they got put on there, they got to be fire. If they got put on there, they got to be fire. But real quick, let me finish up with MT4, and then I have it set up. We'll go over one signal, right? But we gotta go. We just on number 2. Somebody dropped 2 in the chat, right? We just got done with the second. There's 5 buttons down here. We only got done with number 2, right? We're going through the whole MT4 so that people understand how this actually works. So the next part is the trade screen, right? The trade screen is actually very important for you to understand, right? At the top, you have your balance, okay, which is how much money you had in your account before you placed any trades. Okay. Your equity will show you what you deposited plus or minus your profit or loss. Right. And we'll demonstrate that in a second. I'll place a trade. Your margin is going to basically help tell you, how much you can afford to continue to place on trades. And free margin and margin level percentage, they're all just a different breakdown, of that same thing, right? It's alerting you what levels you are in terms of like, this is margin, or what we call leverage trading, meaning you don't have an infinite amount to win or lose, right? At some point, you can lose your money, right? Trading involves risk, and this type of trading on MetaTrader 4, it involves permanently risking your money if you risk too much of it, right? So let's actually place a trade real quick. And show you guys what it looks like. So boom, when you place a position, no, your balance is how much money you have to lose before they take you out. Depending on the lot size, they could take you out before the balance. It won't take all your money, but it'll close the trade. So your margin is kind of like a rule set in place. It's really meant to protect you, to be honest, as well. But your balance is only how much you can only lose up to your balance, right? So I just placed this trade on USD CHF for one standard lot size. Okay. Currently, there's two things I want you guys to notice. Every trade you take, right, is it has a charge, right? Now, this is a standard lot, so it's $7. If it was a 0.10, it would be 70 cents. If it was a 0.01, it would be 7 cents, right? So basically it's like I guess 7%, right? 7% fee on the trade, right? So, and it's a small fee, typically within 1 pip of the trade that you take, that it will be made back and recovered plus some profit, right? But as you guys can see, my equity is showing lower than my balance because right now it's showing that we're minus $16.72, right? I didn't look at this trade if it's going to win or lose. It could completely go either way. I'm just showing you guys what it looks like. Another thing, most people don't know this, so I'm showing you guys this right off the back. From this page is where you can close a trade and where you can modify a trade, right? You can close your trade and you can modify it. So what happens when you go to modify? When I go to modify, it takes me to my stop loss and my take profit, which I can change as much as I want, right? I can change as much as I want. When we're sent a signal, our signals from our swipe coin, etc., the different apps that we have, they're actually going to show us a stop loss and a take profit. And we just enter those points in. So I actually give you guys an example from the product real quick. But I can put in a price for my stop loss and I could put in a price for my take profit. So somebody may be asking that's super new, what is a stop loss and what is a take profit? So I'm actually going to just quickly do a demonstration real quick and put something in. Give me 1 second. 959210. Yes, you can stop the trade, like cancel it at any point you want, whether it be in a win or a loss. You can stop it whenever you want, unless the market's closed on a weekend and you're trading Forex. All right, so let's actually get the visual representation of what this trade looks like. Okay. So basically, I just put in any price, but this is what it looks like on your phone. This was a buy for a standard lot that's basically paying me $10 per pip, right? Every pip that this price moves is paying $10. Okay. The take profit is here at the top, right at this point. That's about 33 pips away. $10 per pip. If this were to reach that take profit before it reaches this stop loss, right, that would be $330 made, right? Just like that, right? If this trade were to do what I put in, right? And then once again, this trade had no analysis. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just giving you guys like the, how it works. Now this stop loss, the stop loss is large, right? The stop loss is 48 pips away. So that's also me still risking $480 on this trade, right? If this trade were to go down here and hit this stop loss, right, it will close out for $480, right? $480, right? So how do I know that? How do I know these amounts so quick? Another key to using this tool, right, this rectangle tool, is that if you look at the top screen, there's a number going up and down, right? There's a number going up and down. And that number is the number of pips the trade is, right? That number is the number of pips. You can take that number at the top of the screen, right? You can take that number at the top of the screen. So right now, we'll do this one, right? So from the entry to the take profit is 328. I can take 328 or 329 and I can multiply that number by my position size, and it will give me my stop loss or my take profit. So somebody tell me my position size is a what? Somebody drop it in the chat. Let's see if you guys are really paying attention. What is the position size on this trade? All right, what lot size did I use? Standard is correct, but tell me the number. And somebody might not know what a standard is. But that's what the video that I shared, I'm going to reshare it again, is going to break down all of that, because today I wanted to go over something a little different, and we'll have time for both. It's really kind of one or the other. It'd be like a 2-hour call, right? A 1, right? 1.00. That is called a standard position. So that number, right? Look at the top, family. At the top, it says right now, it says 330, right? 330. I can take 330 and multiply it by 1, and that would tell me how much I would make or lose. Somebody drop wow in the chat, because a lot of people, it takes them years to even realize that, to be honest. Like, no cap. They don't even know that you could do that. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and look into a swipe point signal real quick, right? Let's look into a swipe point signal. So this is a signal on Bitcoin from an educator. I'm just going to break this down very simply, how this would work. So yeah, this is going to be the last thing we look at for time purposes, but it's Bitcoin. The trade is on the 15-minute time frame. It says it's a buy market. Under trade type, it says buy market. So that means I'm looking at Bitcoin and I'm looking to buy. Then it's telling me at 2 entry prices, 48100 and 47700. So that is my entry zone, right? In between those 2 prices, and at those 2 prices are the areas where I'm looking for entries. But then we also have a stop loss, and we also have a take profit 1 and a take profit 2. I'm going to show you guys a trick. So let's go back to MetaTrader 4 and let's click on Bitcoin. So here goes Bitcoin. I'm going to click trade. Now, I can actually copy and paste the stop loss and the take profit directly into my MetaTrader 4. So I can scroll down and look at stop loss and click this little paper on the side, and that allows me to copy it. And then I can go straight to MetaTrader 4, right? I have to actually select all and then paste, and I can paste that straight into there, right? Also for the take profit, let's just do take profit 1, grab it. It's going to auto generate a number. You have to select all and then paste. All right. Now the key is that you want to do this when they actually send the signal. Currently, price is at 49,277. That is not the entry zone. The entry zone was at 48,100 or 47,700, and it's not in between those prices. So that means that this signal right now, family, is not actually live, right? It's not actually live. We'll go back to it. I can't even know where that signal went, but that signal is not live, right? So let's actually take a look at, oh, this is it right here, right? That signal was not actually live anymore. Okay, it wasn't live anymore. So you can't use that signal. You have to call that. You have to take this signal at the bottom. It says signal time 12 hours ago. The likeliness of it still being good is probably low. You probably want to take the signal within the first 15 minutes, maybe 30. And that will be, that would really help. But I have some more stuff. I need to go back. I know somebody wanted to say, like, how would you take a signal? I just wanted to show you guys that really quickly. But there's still more I want to show you guys about MT4 real quick. So also history, right? Every single one of your trades, the profit, the wins and losses, you can actually check the history here. So let's close this out, right? Manual close, right? This trade is now in my history. Okay. Somebody said, how do you add crypto to your MT4? All right. Once again, I'll show you guys how to add crypto and other pairs. You click the plus sign. As long as you have the right broker, because not all Forex brokers have it. We're using Prosperity FX right now, or you can use Hugo's Way or KLT. You can just click crypto and just click the plus sign on the right ones. Okay. I'm getting some good personal questions, so let me answer them. Somebody asked, how do you know when to pick take profit 1 and take profit 2 and stop loss 1 and 2? So, sir, there's only one stop loss. There's always only one stop loss, but there are 2 different take profits that are sent. The reality is that you're actually supposed to take 2 separate trades. So whatever you typically would risk on a trade, you would divide that into 2 trades and then set 1 trade for the first take profit and set the second trade for the second take profit. Let me know if that makes sense. All right. So y'all see the profit says negative 44. We got deposit 3,000. And then now my balance has changed, right? Now my balance has changed to 2,955, right? So everything is tracked here. You can check it for days, weeks, months. You can even go custom and do a certain period of time to see how you're performing. Now, this is what I want to show you guys because the settings are important to helping you, right? Most of you, your charts don't look like this when you start off on MT4. Sometimes they're probably pretty ugly, right? It's probably dark, green, looks mad intimidating. But what I find is that a lot of people do a little bit better if they can see some charts that they actually like to look at. So I'm just going to show you guys how to do that real quick. So on the settings page, what you're going to select is charts. You want to make sure that you have candlesticks selected. You need to have the axe price on, and you also need to have trade levels on. You could put the period separators on, but what I learned is not necessary because we shouldn't even be trading between the times of like 5 p.m. You shouldn't even be trading. You shouldn't even know what a period separator is because you shouldn't even be at the chart at that time, right? Real quick, just to put it down, if you're Eastern Standard Time, you should really only be showing up to the charts for Forex between like maybe 7 a.m. to about 12 p.m. at the latest, right? In that zone. And I'm not saying do the whole time frame. I'm saying find 2 hours in between those time frames. If you are trading overnight during London session, it should really be somewhere between 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. at the latest for Eastern Standard Time. And you really shouldn't be, like I said, you don't even need the whole 4 hours. You really just need to pick 1 or 2, right? You don't sign up to spend all day on a chart or to work a 9 to 5 on a chart. You do this to, leverage the system to, multiply your money, right? So let me see. So every time there's a signal, you put 2 trades with the same stop loss, but 2 different take profits. Yes, sir, Brian, that is correct. That is correct. Let me see. So last thing I want to show you guys, colors. This is super key. If you want to change the way your charts look, you can actually change the colors and the background and all these different things. What I want you guys to do is you can screenshot this. But the only thing that you're going to need to change, right? So when you click scheme, you either click black on white. Yeah, you should click black on white, right? Click black on white and then screenshot this screen. But for the bull candle and bear candle, pick your 2 favorite colors. Literally pick your 2 favorite colors and be happy, right? Enjoy life, right? I can change these 2 candles, to almost anything. And it works. I'm gonna be honest, it works. So it's bull candle and bear candle are the 2 colors that change your candles. You have to use my other inputs as well if you want it to be slick and clean, right? Foreground needs to be black, grid needs to be white. So screenshot this and just duplicate it. And if you change, let's say bull candle, I'll just change the bear candle. Let's change the bear candle to red. right? So this is how it will look, right? So boom, there goes the charts now, right? Now it's red and gray instead of black and gray. All right. So this is really, believe it or not, this stuff could set people off and give them a lot better experience. So we want to go ahead and plug that in. But for me, that is my time. But that is not the end of the value, family. If you want a full breakdown of training on how to calculate lot sizes, how to calculate pips, how to calculate, TPs and stop losses, full training, I'm dropped in the YouTube link right here. I really urge you guys to study that and study it more than once, because it's not something you just get on the first time, right? So if you use that video, study it multiple times, it'll do you a great deal. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys. I want you guys to use this, apply it as soon as possible. Don't wait a whole month before you start taking signals and applying this information, right? Do it, get experiences as fast as possible. Even if you have to use the smallest lot size, do that. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a phenomenal rest of y'all day. And don't forget to trade smart, family. Peace.
What happens after this phase, y'all ready? The gang phase. How many people want some gang games? I'm talking about you over there in your back office every single time you refresh it, the volume goes up. You know what happens here? The people that you develop start growing. They start attracting the right people to their business. See, when a college team goes out and wins, they now use that success to attract other talent. Right now, what some of us have to do is you gotta go win. You gotta go win. You gotta go build the environment. So people will take a trade like this, and they'll say, I talked about it to the group yesterday.